So welcome team to this week's episode of Testing 123. I have the absolute privilege of having Naomi on. I'm very fangirling right now. I know I say that every week, but this is like quite a big fangirl moment for me.
Thank you so much.
Now, I found you during a time when I was trying to up my videography skills and my edit skills, but you're just amazing, and I have to say that. So if you want for a little bit more context about Naomi, she's been working in the music industry for about 12 years. In the video
industry, just everywhere.
We love it. For the last 12 years. You're always busy. That's what it feels like to me. And that's great to see. We love to see it. But you are also the edits are just immense. Seeing so much so now that sometimes when I see a client you've worked for post something, I'm like, I wonder if Naomi's done that, because the job. Yeah, so I'm not gonna steal your thunder, but I know the clients you've worked with the past few months, and I was like, damn, they're so good.
Thank you.
And then also one thing I have loved about you is on your stories, you talk a lot about don't compare your day one to my 12 years on. Something that I think we all need to hear quite a lot. Something else that you do preach a lot, which I love, is that you're like, I'm not lucky. I've worked to get where I am today.
100%.
And we all need some more of that. So I'm hoping you're going to give us a little bit of a masterclass in that today.
I am so ready. So much to give you. I talk so much. I finally have somewhere to talk.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy to be here.
And finally, you are what I call the manifestation icon. And I can't wait to get into that as well. Coming from a place of self-worth and making sure that you get the jobs that you deserve and never... and arguing with your head. I can't wait to talk about that as well.
Oh God, I have a story for you. All that stuff, all that, mental development of manifesting. I got stories.
Okay, we'll get right into it. So can you tell me a little bit about your early days, or when you were younger, your life, just to give us a bit of context?
Yeah. So honestly, filming has always been something I've done since I was young. When I was 8, my dad had a camcorder, and me and my sister would make horror films. Since we were very, very young, we would make... Also, I had a little Nokia phone, and I had a setting on it where I didn't know how to figure out how I could film longer than 10 seconds. So I could only film for 10 seconds. So I was doing Vine before Vine. So back in 2006, 2005, I was making 10-second videos with my sister's funny skits, all that stuff. I've always been very creative. Directed plays with my cousins for my family. So it's always been ingrained in me. It's not something that I just picked up and thought, oh, this is fun. So when I was 16, I was born on the 30th of August. So I was very late into college. So I was still very young. So when I was 16, I did 1 year of A-levels, and I did IT, graphics and business. Shite, absolute shite. I didn't get the best grades. And I remember I can basically condense my entire story in what I basically said in a certain moment, because I had to show my results to my dad, my Nigerian dad. He was not happy because I got D's across the board. And he was like, this is not it. But I remember watching a couple Michael Bay behind the scenes stuff when he was doing Transformers. And I was just like, do you know what? I want to do this. I was like, I want to do this. I don't want to do this graphic shit, this IT stuff. I want to do this.
Can I just talk about, I know there's a lot of bad rap around Transformers, okay? But that film changed my life.
It's so good, is it not? It's so amazing.
Why is
the first 3?
But why do people have to be shit? It's just but Transformers, I feel like everyone you talk to who's in the creative industry, they'll be like...
They shit on it.
No, they're like, there was that one scene in Transformers and I've been trying to...
Really?
Really?
I just feel
like...
Really the case?
I feel like it just inspired a load of creatives in our generation.
Sure it did. But in general, a lot of people say they're like, oh, it's just a blockbuster movie with explosions and it's just a dumb movie. But personally, I think as a director, if you can imagine something and you can get a whole military base and you can get explosions, you can show people what you were thinking, that sold it.
If we could just bring that energy back to filmmaking, that would be great without being a bad person. That would be great.
I know, right? Well, here we are. Yeah. The next generation.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Continue.
No, it's fine. So basically, we were in a car, and I basically had a decision that I made when I was 16. I was like, it came to me on the spot. I don't know. It was a moment of oh my God, maybe I awakened. Who knows? But I said to my dad, I was like, you know what? I'm going to quit my A-levels. I'm going to do BTech Media for 2 years. Then I'm going to go to uni, study something in film. After that, I'm going to work for the first job I'm going to get is going to be in the industry. But then after that, I'm going to quit and I'm never going to work for anyone again. And I did exactly that over the space of 10 years. So between 16 and 26. So I did media, BTech level 3, went to Ravensbourne University, got a degree in digital film production. And then I worked for Jungle Creations, which is like a social media platform. They were really big when I joined. And then I just quit and I was like, I'm going to go freelance. And I've been freelance for the past 4 years. But throughout, I've been working, building, like doing free stuff here and there, low budget stuff, just to build my portfolio as I was going throughout. But that's why, because it took me such a long time to go freelance, by the time I got there, I had all the experience I needed to actually be like professional and someone that people would recommend,
I just want to quickly touch on something because I think sometimes people forget. You said that you worked for Jungle
Creations, yeah.
Jungle Creation for a year and then went freelance.
Yeah.
I think some people would say that you didn't build your portfolio for a long time, but obviously you're building it at university.
I was at university, yeah. That's where I started.
And I think like sometimes people forget that. Like if you've been working on your portfolio since like college and then into university, you do have like a bigger bank, and that like that's like 5 years. Like college and then university is 5 years.
Yeah.
Do you see? I just wanted to make sure that was drilled home that you were always working on passion projects.
Always, yeah.
Or
always.
assignments whilst in education as well.
100%. Even getting into university, it was very hard to get into. It's a very small university. It's very selective. And I was like, I have nothing. So my sister was a musician. So I made her music videos. And I got my little sister just to come out and just me do some random cool videos. And I went to skate parks and just whatever I could do to build it, to even get into uni to begin with no concepts, no nothing. Just let me just make whatever. And that's how I got in, and then I could make more content there, and it just develops over time. But
see, people, you need to make a portfolio. You don't need to be paid. You can go out and
you got to build it, build your brand. How else is anyone going to trust you to shoot their content? That's how it has to be.
You talked very much about being professional, and I will say from your social media presence, this is the first time I met you, but even meeting you now, you are very professional. And that seems very important to you, as it should be to all creatives in any industry. Being professional is important. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
100%. I feel like a lot of, especially photographers and videographers, have a bit of a chip on their shoulder. Like they almost feel like they're owed something, like the way they behave sometimes. And I've seen a lot of that behavior come through, and I've seen them lose all the opportunities they could have had, even with me. And for me, the most important thing is like communication, like talking about, even if you're running late, say you're running late. If the edit is running late, say the edit's running late. If something's going on, communicate it just so that they're aware. Like I'm honestly baffled by the fact that people say like, oh yeah, I haven't touched that edit in weeks and my client's messaging me. I'm like, how on earth? Like I would lose my shit. I wouldn't do anything until I meet that deadline. And if there's delays, usually if there is a delay in a project, it's because of the client. It's because they didn't give me what I needed in time and now it's messed up my schedule. But apart from that, like I will not sleep until I deliver.
Is client anxiety not a thing?
For me, I'm like, I will do the job, but I'm not gonna cry about it if anything goes different, because they usually don't care as much as they make it out to be. They really don't.
Yeah.
It sounds rude, but it's true.
It's true. Like that's what we need to have more conversations around everything and it not be so like in shadow, because that's not helping anyone. That's not helping the creatives. That's not helping the clients. That's not helping the creative industry as a whole. So I'm just you said to me before you came in, you said you've done 2 years in fashion.
Yeah.
2 years in music.
Since being freelance,
right. Sorry. And so now, do you feel like you're moving out of your music a little bit?
Yeah, just because I feel like as the years have gone along, I've been a lot more vocal about my boundaries. And not every, like a lot of musicians, not musicians, but the whole industry of musicians and publications and whatnot, labels, they're so last minute. They're so disrespectful to the creatives in the creative industry. And a lot of them won't be able to meet my standards. They'll be like, you know what? Forget this girl. I'm going to get some beginner guy who doesn't really care and probably has the same camera, probably has the same quality. And, You know, it's not going to give us shit for it. Can I swear?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
I swear.
Okay.
Like a sailor on leave, so you
Okay.
were fine.
Perfect. I swear a lot. But yeah, so I've set a lot of boundaries with a lot of people, and I don't care how big you are or how, you know, how big the publication is, whatever. I'm not afraid to get cancelled. I'm not afraid to get blacklisted. There's no way, because I've built such a strong network with so many different people, where so many different people in different industries know how I work, know how I am. If you're going to go talk shit about me, they're going to ask you why first before they're going to come to me. So I feel like, because I've had such a long time in the industry where I've built so many different relationships, I'm not afraid of losing a client by goodbye. Like, I really don't care. There's so many more clients that are, you know, going to come your way. And there's also a lot of people out there that behaved badly, terribly, that are so-called cancelled, that are still getting jobs. So I'm not too afraid. If they're getting jobs, I'll be fine, you know?
You have no need to be cancelled.
No, literally. I mean, well, if there ever is, I honestly won't care either. Like, I'm like, everything happens for a reason. Let's go with the flow. I'm like, whatever. But
this really is a good segue into one of my next questions, and that is about networking. I rave about networking. I think it's the best thing. It's something that has allowed me to do this. It's something that allows me to get clients. And you were quite vocal about networking as well. So can you tell me a little bit about your networking journey?
Yeah.
How important it is to you? How you network? If you can give any insights there.
It's interesting because I have read a couple of books on like how to handle people, because I'm an introvert with an extrovert personality. So I can really be very friendly and engaging, but naturally I do just like to be by myself and like sometimes be quiet. And I have modes, I have versions, but when it comes to networking, I think it's really important to show interest in other people first, so that then they will show interest in you, and then you can present yourself, which I know sounds a bit strategic, but what else can you do, man? It is literally, there's only so many ways you can get someone interested. But funny way, how you never know who you're going to meet that's going to give you that opportunity. Because I remember when I was in college, there was a girl, and I remember I was trying to make friends. I was struggling to make friends. I was like,
which we all do.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Making friends past the age of 5 is hard.
Very hard, very hard. So I saw a girl. I was like, you know, I'm trying to be friends, but I liked her shirt. So I was like, I'm gonna go compliment her shirt. I said, oh, I like your shirt. We became friends, followed each other on Facebook. That was in college when I was still doing my A levels. So I've quit now. I've quit A levels. I've blah blah. First year of uni. I'm posting constantly that I'm doing videos and filming. She's got a housemate who needs a videographer for a bridal shoot. So again, she nothing to do with the industry, but she just knows someone. So she hires me to go on that bridal shoot. I do BTS videography. The hairdresser of that shoot really likes me and then takes me on to a fashion shoot that I then end up doing. So it's basically a men's luxury fashion brand, and they do a presentation and a shoot for Vogue and GQ every, you know, fashion week or whatever. So I did it for them for free every like fashion week for about 4 years. And I've met so many people throughout those years of doing that free video. It's one of the models ended up becoming huge, and then ended up getting me to work with Dior and Gucci and Prada and all them lot. And that all ended up coming all back around and like start my fashion stuff. So like, it is, you never know where it can come from, but I'm always about presenting yourself, post about yourself, talk about yourself. Hey, I do this to anyone, because you never know who's going to need someone or need a friend who needs someone. So yeah, that's advertising yourself is what you need to do in networking. That's my main thing.
So just quickly, you mentioned there that you did that job for 4 years for free. How did you know that was because we all creatives, everyone's sliding into our DMs being like, oh, can you do this for free? We don't have any budget. How do you know? Because I know that there's been free gigs that I've personally taken, and they've set me up to make so much more money. But there have been times when I've thought, I'm like, this is it. I'll work this free one, and then it's turned into nothing. How do you differentiate?
I would say if it doesn't benefit your portfolio, don't do it.
Okay.
Only if it benefits you should you do it for free, because you're still working at the end of the day. It doesn't matter if you are, you know, starting out or doing it for a long time. If you see something, you're like, I know this is going to benefit me, that's a form of payment. if you're like, if I use this to present to this client that I can do this and they're going to pay me God knows how much money, that's worth it in the end. And for me, it was an opportunity to film models, network with designers, people that were coming there, photographers. I met so many people that I still know to this day, like because of those events. And it was very beneficial. I was like, you know what? Even though I'm doing free work, I'm at uni, I'm still going towards my goal. I'm not saying everyone should do free work all the time, but I saw it benefiting me in the long run. And it really did, because I used that to present to other people, and that was used to get me many other jobs as well. So yeah, sometimes even till this day, if I do something for free, it's only because I'm like, I have an idea, I really want to do it, and no one's going to pay me to do it. So I'm not going to wait around. I'm going to just do it for free. So that's the only time I'll do anything, or anyone should do anything for free. If they're like, I don't have a budget, but please do something, and you're not going to enjoy it, don't take it. It's not worth it. It will never be worth it.
My next question is, do you have any like career defining moments that you're like, I previously had Sophia on a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about like, she spoke about how she had these moments in her career where she was like, yes, this is going to make me, this is going to, and then it's turned into nothing.
Right.
And then she's had moments where she's been like, oh, I'll go to my job, do it. And, and then that's like springboarded her.
Right.
And I've definitely had that as well. And I just wondered if you had any moments like that.
I would say there's been some times where I've uploaded something and it's made me a little bit more, I guess, popular in a sense where more people are hiring me in that period. Mm-hmm. However, when it comes to career defining moments, I'm still waiting for them.
Okay.
Because I feel like even though I've done a lot of stuff with people, I am so like, I'm at the beginning of my journey. I really have not even started yet, because I'm only doing this because I love doing it and it pays the bills. But there's so much more I still want to do. So I feel like certain celebrities have kind of, pushed me out there a little bit, and it's great. And we're like, oh my God, you've worked with that person. I'm like, yeah, it's great. But I'm not great because they're great. I'm not, just because I'm working with them doesn't make me great. They are great because of what they do. I want to be great for what I do. So I want to make amazing content. You're going to be like, you don't even need to know the people that are in it. I just want you to be like, that's art. That's what I want people to say about my stuff. So I feel like career defining, not necessarily yet. I've just had a little moments of popularity, I guess, throughout because of celebrities. Like, I would give an example, Thames. She was, after I started shooting all of her shows in 2022, a lot more, Afrobeats artists came towards me, and I was promoted a lot more in that scene. However, I'm backing away from that a little bit too. I love the Afrobeat scene, but I feel like I've had enough time there. It's time to move on. Like, career defining is me moving on to a next step and doing like a big production where they have a budget and I can showcase what I want to do without the limit of, we can't afford that, we can't do that. So yeah. I don't know if that helps.
That does help. But if you're not fired, like if you are listening to this or watching this and you are not fired up by how excited Naomi is for the next stage of her career, then I don't know what else is. That was the perfect pep talk that I think we all need, is to remember that, like, I think as like I'm approaching 30.
Oh, I turned 29 the other day, so I'm right there with you, girl.
And I keep thinking, like, my best years are behind me. They're not.
They're not. They're about to start.
I know.
30s is where it begins. Like, for real.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. They say your frontal lobe doesn't develop, it doesn't stop developing until you're 25. So basically, by the time you're 30, you're only 5 years old. You're a 5-year-old adult. So I don't know why we put so much pressure on ourselves to be like, oh, we're so old. Like, no, we're just beginning. We're just growing that whole time. So 30 is like the perfect time to start. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, you giving me the reality check I needed.
Yeah, we need that reality check. You're not old. You're not old. Like, we might be old if you're like maybe 60 or something. But my mom has just started reliving her life, and she just turned like 51. She's the fittest she's ever been. She looks the best she's ever been. She's the happiest she's ever been. I feel like people need to stop putting too much pressure on, like, oh, time. I need to get this now.
I think there is so much pressure out there, though, isn't there? Because we have social media, which is an amazing tool. And you've definitely illustrated how, as a creative in any creative industry, you can use social media to get your name out there and get your brand out there. But then it brings in a lot of comparisons. Like you look at, I always used to, before social media, I always used to look at the Olympics and be like, that person's 12 and they just won a gold medal. And I've done nothing with my life. And now, that wasn't even 4 years. Now we have social media. It's every day.
Yeah. It's very dangerous. And I try to tell people not to do that because even I have quiet days. Like I said earlier before, I had a very quiet month. I've barely worked this month. And I've had someone who I work a lot with and who is very, very known in the industry and has all the connections you could possibly think of say the same thing. He was like, oh, I'm currently not getting a lot of jobs. I'm starting to doubt myself. And I was like, you know what? It happens all the time. It happens. The last thing we should do is let it define who we are, how creative we are, how good we are. It's like there will be quiet moments, yes. What do you do in those quiet moments? Rest, self-reflect, make new goals, work on yourself, because we can't keep working constantly, back to back, editing, shooting, not having a social life, all that stuff. We need moments of rest. I'd much rather just appreciate the fact that there are times that I'm not busy rather than being like, oh my God, I'm seeing everyone else do this and I'm not doing it. I'm not afraid. Like whatever is meant for me will come to me. So even if I see people, I remember I really wanted to go to DLT this year. I was like, oh my God, I really want to go. Everyone I knew went. I didn't go, but instead I went on tour with Megan Thee Stallion. So I was like, low key, every disappointment is a blessing, because I was really like, oh my God, FOMO, I really want to be there. And I didn't find out until like a couple days after DLT had started. I was like, I wasn't supposed to be there. Had I been there, I would have missed the tour. So, and that was the one thing I really wanted to do, was go abroad and tour, let alone Megan and Miss Banks. So
when I saw that you were on tour with Megan, I was so excited to see what you would create.
Oh God, I'm not gonna lie. I can't lie. I'm not very happy.
Okay.
I'm not very happy, and that is because I did what Miss Banks wanted me to do.
Yeah.
I didn't do what I would have done.
But that's really important, because I like to distinguish that, because sometimes we want to make something and it doesn't always align with what the client wants. Mm-hmm. But first and foremost, when you're hired, you have to do what the client wants.
Exactly.
And that is frustrating for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
But I obviously can't see inside your head, so I don't know it. But I love the content you created.
Thank you.
I wasn't able to go on the tour, and one of my biggest things is when I create or when I watch a favorite artist I have been able to go on tour with, I love the fact when they bring a group, like a great creative with them, because I get to immerse myself in it for 10 seconds, or if there's a tour video, an hour, you know what I mean? The Stallion stuff, wasn't able to go, but got to see your edits, and it made me like have a little piece of it. And so also, if you do get to go on the tour or you get to see the artist, then you get to relive it a little bit as well, and that's what you allow fans to do. So
it's nice, but I would say though, if more artists left it up to me to decide what bits to put in there, I feel like I would be able to showcase more of the artist's personality. Because a lot of the times they just want when you walk up onto the stage, when you go to the crowd and all that stuff, maybe a little bit after. But a lot of the stuff that happens before that is so interesting to see. And I'm just like, I want more of that. I want more personality. Even Thames, she's hilarious. She's so funny. But every time I'm posting her being funny, they're like, nah, we don't want that in there. I'm like, why? Like, she has so much character. And a lot of people have a lot of character, or celebrities, artists, that you just can't always seem to portray very well in videos. So that's a bit hard. But the ones who are like down for it, like Black Sharif is my favorite person to work with, because he is down for anything. When I was with him at Wireless, I was like, I've got this crazy idea. I just need you to like step on the grass and like pick up the camera. Like, I know it sounds weird, but can you just do it? And he's like, yeah, he's like a young guy. He's down for that whole weird shit. He did it and it paid off so well. The intro ended up like looking amazing. And I was like, yes, like I love doing that with people. I wish there was more of that.
It's just sometimes the more you work with an artist, the better the relationship builds.
100%.
But there's also trust in there.
Yeah.
And from what I can see, obviously I'm not in your shoes. I've never worked with you. I do think there's a lot of trust there.
I believe there was trust, yeah. But for Miss Banks, it's not because she doesn't trust my vision.
No.
I mean, I basically, if you look at her page, I've shot almost everything that's on her page right now. I work with her a lot. But it's just the fact that there are certain things that she doesn't want to see of herself, or certain ways that she wants it to be portrayed just for it to look a certain way. Nothing to do with your work isn't good enough or I don't like it. It's just like what she wants.
And that's another thing that you've pointed out really well is that clients are human beings.
Yeah.
So they're going to turn around and go, actually, I don't want that side of myself shown. I don't want, and I do get that.
Yeah. And you can never argue that. If someone says that, you just have to, because even there was one shot I remember I did for the first video I did for Thames, and it was my favorite shot of the entire thing. And she was like going around in slow motion and her braids were flying around. It was so amazing. But that was the one shot they asked to take out. And I was like, she just didn't like the way she looked. But I was like, I'm going to have to do it. I can't argue that, like you just have to respect the fact that if it was you in that situation, I would want someone to listen to me and not make me look a certain way.
Yeah.
So.
That leads really well into, so you wanted to be somewhere else, but you got the Meg Thee Stallion tour. And you said that that's what you wanted. You wanted to go on tour.
Yeah.
So can we talk a little bit about your manifestation?
My favorite bit.
Yeah.
Manifesting. Yeah, no, I feel like manifesting is having real faith in delusional thoughts. And delusional doesn't have to be over the top. It's just imagine you saying something to your mother and them going, that's not realistic. Basically that. Anything that requires success is what people say is not realistic, which I hate. I've always hated that. My family's always been, they've not really been that doubtful. They've supported me, but they've been like, how are you going to make money? How are you going to do it? And I was like, wait and see. I don't know how, but I'll find a way, And the first time that I ever had my biggest manifesting moment that kind of set me up for the rest of my career was in 2020, which is basically when I started COVID times, terrible times. I was actually homeless in the beginning for a little while. I was on universal credit. I had a really bad situation with my family, was completely isolated. And it was around the time I started my freelance career. And, when you're down bad, that's when you manifest the hardest. So I was doing, because I've manifested before, I was like, all right, I'm going to do it now. It's time. And I thought about clients that I wanted to manifest. And I was thinking of labels and whatnot. And I've always thought to myself, I wanted to work with Universal Music. I was like, I really want to work with them one day. I remember walking past their building and Warner Music as well. I was like, oh, I'd really want to work with them. So I've written it down. And immediately when I wrote it down, my brain went, no, that's too much. That's too big. You can't do that. And then the other side of my brain was like, shut the fuck up. Yes, you can. Why are you saying no? I know that it's COVID and I know that everything's shut down and you're homeless and your universal credit and everything's bad. But who says it can't happen? I was like, write that shit down. Just fucking write it down. 2 months later, I worked with Universal Music. They paid me the highest amount that I've ever been paid for a video. I was like, holy shit. I got my highest client, my biggest client that I was manifesting in 2 months. Easy. Every time I'm like, I want something, I'll write it down. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that. I write it down. And I'm not afraid to share it with people, because I feel like if you share it with people, I don't believe in that evil eye stuff. I don't believe anyone can block your blessings. It's just however much you believe in it. If you share it with people, the right people might see and be like, oh yeah, I can get you on that. And that's happened as well. I'll be like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to do this. You're like, oh really? I can sort you out on that. So it's you just have to be very open and expressive and very positive about your manifestations. Make it about, how it would feel to be there once you're there, rather than, I want people to look at me like this. I want people to rate me. I want people to like me. It's you want to manifest a feeling of whatever the outcome is. You don't want to manifest validation. Who cares about that? But it is nice sometimes, a bit of validation. But in terms of manifesting, you cannot ever see anything as too big or too high or too far away, because those people that run Universal Music started somewhere in the beginning too. You cannot hold yourself back and say, well, maybe that's too big for me. Never too big. The way I've jumped in some cases I started off with some UK artists and, some fashion people here. And I went to flipping Common. Common is another breed, is another level, hip hop legend, American, far from what I'm used to. But that happened instantly. And you just never know. I feel like you just have to make sure that you stay positive about whatever it is that you want, and don't let other people throw you off from manifesting. because they will try. And they'll also say, oh, it's too big, oh, it's too much, or you can't do that, or oh, well, oh, if only, those kind of attitudes, ignore them. It's even better when they don't believe you, because then you use that to fuel it and you're like, all right, you just watch.
Yeah. Yep.
I love doing that.
It's also, it shouldn't be, but sometimes it's quite motivating when someone's like, you can't do that. And I'm like,
oh, yeah.
Hold my beer.
Literally. That's why I'm like, no shade to my mom, but my mom was a little bit skeptical at the beginning about my career. So how are you going to do it? I'm like, just watch. I'm like, just watch. Now she's my biggest supporter. She's like, oh my God. Like, she's super supportive. But a lot of people were wondering how and questioning. And the only thing I would say is a little bit unique about my experience is that no one did what I'm doing now, and no one was there to show me how to do it. Like, even the jobs that we're doing now are fairly new. Social media content creation, videography, photography for shows used to be something that 40-year-old men for the Sun did. Like not like a random person from anywhere. So at this point, the job is just a lot of jobs have arisen, and now you can't limit yourself to the possibilities.
I remember being at school and like in an assembly, and my teacher going, like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I was like, I had a very different dream to what I'm doing now. And he turned around to me and was like, do not limit yourself to thinking that the jobs that are available right now are the same jobs you're going to have when you hit the market.
Exactly.
And I constantly remind myself of it. Like anything can be a job. And you saying that has like, it's validated me. So thank you.
Yeah. Honestly, like the fact that we're always trying to like have the best life, the best version of our life, whatever. At the end of the day, it's about being in the now. It's about enjoying. It's about like, what am I going to enjoy most doing this now? Like for me, it's barely like a job. I love filming. I love editing. Sometimes it's annoying because some clients make it annoying, or you're not in the mood and you have to do a job. But what I wanted to manifest at the end of the day was happiness. So it doesn't matter how it comes, if it's in the form of a career or a loved one. I would not say loved one because you can't trust other people. But like if it comes in whatever form it comes in, I feel like you need to kind of, I don't know, connect with the feeling that you want, rather than I want to work with this person and that person and I want to have this how many followers and this, because that shit doesn't mean anything if you don't feel good about it. So yeah, when it comes to manifesting, I'm a big on also writing things down, vision boards. I even film my vision boards. I'm like, I said I was gonna do this. I'm doing it now. Look at this. I love doing that stuff because it's like you have it in front of you. You've put it out there. You said it. It will come.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This does lead us into a really good bit. Okay, so what are you manifesting next?
Right. Oh, so much. But
just give us like a little snippet.
Okay, so I am currently trying, well, I wouldn't say trying, but I have been in talks with some production companies in joining them, which I was always against before, but I need people with a budget.
Yes.
And I can't keep doing this shit by myself. I have so many ideas, creative ideas in fashion, commercial, music videos, just even promotion for films, TVs, whatever, like lots of creative ideas that are not going to consist of me running on and off stage or running about with my camera. It's going to consist of planning and like a team of people. So basically, I just want to do some big budget stuff that can allow my ideas come to life.
Yeah.
I don't care with who it is, but I know I want to travel. I know I don't want to do this stuff all in the UK. I know I want to go to beautiful locations. I want to like experience the world now. Like I've done the hard work, I've done the nitty gritty, the 24-hour turnaround, the dying for low budget work and all that stuff. I feel like now after 12 years, it's time for me to kind of get the big budget stuff, to travel and to take more of the directing role rather than just the videography role. So I would say those are the next steps for me.
We're just putting out into the universe because I want to see these.
Oh, it will happen.
Selfishly, I want to be able to be a viewer of this.
You can view it. I'll take everyone on my journey.
Cannot wait.
Honestly.
Well, thank you so much for being spending this little under an hour with me, having this chat with me, and being so candid about everything. I can't wait to see what you do next. I will link everything for everyone to find your socials in the caption. I'm
actually getting new socials.
Okay, I'll wait.
No. I'm adding something on.
Okay.
I'm adding my handle called Naomi Thoughts, where I'm going to be sharing a lot of my advice and tips about a lot of this stuff.
So I will definitely be linking.
Yeah. Because I've been doing it on my main page, and I'm just like, not everyone wants to hear it. Let me just make a page for that. Basically.
Okay, so I'll definitely make sure to link to that. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. You've been so nice. It's been so nice talking to you.
Thank you. Well, I will catch the team later.
Bye.